All right, all right, all right. Enough dilly-dallying around. Are we ready to get this thing going? And for good and for real. Hey, yeah, what's up? For the second time, for all of you that were sitting here for, I don't know, like 30 some odd minutes. Oh my God. Thank you so much for coming on back. And I do have a free gift for you. So all of you that are joined on now, we got you. And I see my tea is making its way here. Thank you for bringing that. Don't you want to tell everyone where we were this morning? No?
No.
Why? Oh my God. All right. Anyway. So yeah, we were in, look at that. Holy cow, is that steaming piping hot. My God, I'm not gonna drink that yet. That'll be a trip to the hospital probably if I go ahead and ram that stuff down my throat. So we went to Notre Dame. We were in South Bend, Indiana this morning. We stayed overnight. I set up the live stream. I should have just did it when I got home, but I wanted to do it in the morning before we left and drove back. South Bend, Indiana is on the East Coast time. We're here in Central Time, so I set it for 7 p.m. Of course, that's 6 p.m. here in Chicago, so I just didn't even catch it, didn't even think of it. And did I weld myself to the kitchen chair, Billy? Hey, I might as well have. I mean, might as well have woke up with my head sewn to the carpet, right? Shout out to National Lampoon's. God, I love that movie. We got back to the hotel. It was with my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and a friend. Threw on the TV and they had National Lampoon's on. So that was pretty, that was fun. That was fun to watch that again. But here's the gift for all of you that are watching. And I have this linked in the description, in the video description below. I was on bopping around Seeking Alpha and thought this was pretty cool. So Leo Nellison, writer, author on Seeking Alpha, which, by the way, I hope you caught the video I did with Travis, aka the Dividend Collector or Collector. Chua, I think it also says as the AI reads it. But Leo did a really in-depth article here of building the ultimate. Let me change my view here. I always want to give you guys more real estate, right? Of building the ultimate dividend portfolio from scratch. So in the video description is a link to that. I gifted it to you all because, hey, I feel so bad about that. And I'm so sorry. I was actually responding to emails and Sam Clark sent I saw an email pop up, said, "Are you okay? You're live." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm live? Not live. I got another like 30 minutes or whatever." But yeah, so this was a really lengthy article. Lots of good thoughts in here, lots of good ideas. So if you want a good long read through on how to build, in his opinion, the perfect dividend portfolio from scratch, if you're a newer investor, this would be awesome. And yeah, just really, really, there he goes. He gives his first 5 investments. And yeah, so definitely check that out. I think you'll get a lot of value from it. And that's a paywall article. As a Seeking Alpha affiliate, I get to, because they want to rope people in, I get to share 5 articles a month. All right, let me take a breath here. I'm all discombobulated because I'm running around. Yeah, I was about to head up to get in the shower. I'm like, I got plenty of time. And all of a sudden I'm having to delete the one video, do all this stuff. So okay, before we get too deep into it, and we do show you what Warren Buffett bought, I got to check the chat, say hello to everybody, and if you're just joining us for the second time again, I'm I'm so sorry. You can understand it, right? Things happen, right? I wasn't hungover or anything this morning. I had a good time yesterday. Watched number 8 Notre Dame beat up on Virginia. They didn't even have a chance. The game was essentially over at kickoff. But you know what? Yeah, the weekend was good. It's nice to take those breaks, but I'm ready to get back at well, I'm back at it already. I'm talking with all of you, but Bernard, what's going on, man? Thank you again. They don't pay dividends, but could you give an opinion on Wix? Alan, we'll write that down on Wix. Yeah, we'll take a we'll take a look-see at it. And gift that keeps on giving. What's up? Hello. Billy, come on, taught you to be a better husband. Hey, I don't know if you talking to me with that? I don't know. All right, we're caught up. Good evening. And I'm going to show you guys, because we didn't do a video on it. I was so focused on meeting Travis, talking with Travis, and very exciting thing. I don't want to, we'll wait to see that it happens, but December 2nd, and that's all I'm going to say. I have a very interesting interview. I'm going to do a format called 5 Questions with, and it's with somebody that's very notable that you all are going to know. So I'm really excited for that, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. So I may tease it a few more times later on the live streams, but that's it. It's going to be fun. So that'll be the first week of December that short little conversation probably is going to come out. And it's not Warren Buffett. No, sir, it's not not Warren Buffett, but it's a guest that shout out, put me in contact with, was Travis, the Dividend Collector, a new friend of the show. Yeah, so Forest Moto Adventures says, good to see you, and thank you. You love dividends. Hey, passive income is one hell of a drug. That's what we say. But like all drugs, they can cloud your judgment, get you emotional, a little bit irrational, but we all learn. And that's the whole point of this channel, is to learn things, to be better investors together. The next video I'm going to start cracking at it tomorrow. Next, our media group shared some less than interesting things, in my opinion, but I'm glad they shared it. They have to disclose it. Some issues around adjusted free cash flow. I'm going to break it all out. And whether you're an investor or not, the whole exercise is going to be trying to look at objectively what we invest in. That's what I'm learning to do, because it's so easy to be, it's so easy to get enamored with the CEOs, with the companies that we hold. But I want to be critical of it. And no, it's not because of our friend George from last week. Although I held my breath, I turned a little blue. I didn't hear any specifics, but when I hear people doing that, right, I don't think we should want to live in echo chambers, because echo chambers, you're not going to learn anything. It's just going to be reiterating what you already know and believe. I always want my beliefs challenged, my ideas challenged, just like Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, man. Dude, that was perfect when you challenged me on where I held Enterprise Products Partners. So anyway, but you said like SVOL. I know some people invest in SVOL. I looked at it for a hot minute, but you also think a generational opportunity in space with LUNR. I don't know LUNR. I mean, we can put that one on in a minute. We'll go through a few of these. I don't know if that's an ETF or not. Doc, thank you to have you. Gorilla Nurse, yeah. What the Bears, I think, lost 10 in a row to the Packers. Hey, it happens. Put it this way. Bad teams, just like companies, right? We can draw a parallel. Bad teams just consistently find new and innovative ways to lose. Sometimes companies are like that. They just keep finding ways to be bad. So that's why we don't want to invest in bad companies. And Bill, we'll take the first three. We'll look at Warren, what he bought. I'll pop back in, chit chat, and then we'll go look at those three. Good. I'm glad you loved the interview, Travis. And yeah, all caught up. So caught up. Can you tell I'm a little bit racing? Last one. RFK made statements, tanked healthcare stocks. Merck and Pfizer are near the 52-week lows. Anything you see as a buying opportunity in healthcare stocks? Yeah, so Harsha, I kind of touched on it in the newsletter, and you guys know that I want to pay off our the car we bought. I will have 2 paid off cars. But man, Thursday, that's what started the nonsense, was Trump tweeted, RFK is just, yeah, he's got his mindset on making America healthy again, I guess. And that's going to be taking a hard look at the pharmaceutical industry, all the drugs that he thinks are, I'm paraphrasing, but keeping people sick, not making them well, benefiting just big pharma. And then like food additives, too much with the major food corporations. That's why, of course, Of course, PepsiCo got hit hard. Hershey's got hit hard. All the healthcare stocks. AbbVie was up, what, $204 a share not too long ago, a week, maybe two. We're in the low 160s now. So I think it's real. I think it's real, and it's something we have to pay attention to. Now, he hasn't been confirmed yet, but man, and then on those same lines, right? You got Tulsi Gabbard, who is being nominated for the national security director. That could affect stocks like she's more dovish, right? So that could affect your Lockheed Martin, your Raytheon, your Northrop Grumman, companies like that. They could have that could trickle through, from what I understand, in the defense budget. So yeah, and those have been getting hit a little bit too. It's just will it happen? I don't know. I think I was responding to Jonathan about this. Johnny G, in one of the emails, he responded to my newsletter. And I think I remember when Trump came in the first time, he was supposed to be really favorable for big oil and not so much for big tech. What happened? Big tech did very well, and big oil not so much during his, I almost said his first reign, but thankfully, we're not electing kings. So again, we don't know the future because there are billions and billions of possibilities all floating around the world at every given possible second. And just it's too much. Nobody can predict the future and what's going to happen. So let's see. We know what is likely and supposed to be, but will it? We don't know. But I guess I would say, Billy, like your question here, if you don't think that whatever policies RFK wants to have instituted or whatever he can do, because right, he'll essentially be head, I think, of the FDA. If it's not going, it could materially impact the revenue of Merck or PepsiCo. But if you don't think it's going to put them out of business and you want to hold for a long period of time, I think they'll be okay. And yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's almost what is this name? Austin Powers. Good Lord. Yeah, baby. Politics do create opportunities to buy great stocks that may have gotten some hate. Bingo. And some of it's, yeah, and like I pointed out in the newsletter too, I said really all that it is that it just created new uncertainty around these industries and these stocks. The market hates uncertainty, which is right. Why, when Trump got elected, people thought this was going to be contested. It's going to drag on for months. We may not know who the president is going to be. So there was a lot of uncertainty, but really on election night, it looked like there's not going to be any uncertainty. So the market loves not having uncertain times ahead. And yeah, thanks for sharing that, Harsha. AbbVie also tanked because the schizophrenia drug failed phase 2 trial. And Humira, right? I think that's AbbVie's, right? This is Humira. I think the patent cliff is coming up quick on that. We are early. Oh, you're early. I'm late. If anybody missed it, we got to get to Buffett here. I set up the live stream from the hotel room in South Bend, Indiana, which is on East Coast time, for 7 p.m. Duh. So it set it for 6 p.m. Central, where I'm at back here back in Chicago. So, oh yeah, by the way, Lisa, what's up? Yeah, we gotta talk soon. I brought you up on Travis when I talked with Travis, the Dividend Collector. So yeah, shout out to Lisa. And now we will move to, yeah, I'm not sure why Procter and Gamble dropped so much. I don't know how any regulations would affect them unless it's tariffs. Yeah, so PepsiCo, I mean, there's a lot of headwinds, or at least perceived headwinds, right? Because there's tariffs, there's RFK now. A lot of people, I've seen the sentiment on some social media sites that PepsiCo, for example, because of all this, is going to be dead money for a couple of years, and people are starting to trade it like that. Here, and then Jim, I love it, man. Oh, by the way, I get responded to your email. I sent your email. I think I have 4 or 5 more to go, but you said the catalyst for the defense stocks dumping was because General CQ Brown. Wait, General C.Q. Brown, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, is on the chopping block when Trump takes office. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, these nominations have to be confirmed, and then we'll see. That's all I can say is we'll see. But there's a lot more uncertainty today than there was at the beginning of last week. All right, now let's show you exactly what Warren Buffett did. There is a link to 13f.info once I hit share my screen. I think I'm going to hide myself because I don't want to cover up any data. So let's present it. And so this is 13f.info, right? And it's real simple. If you go to 13f.info, right at the beginning, it has the most search managers. So just click on Berkshire Hathaway and it will bring you to Berkshire's page, right? Zoom that in a bit. Oh, by the way, look at that, Deadpool and Wolverine. Anybody seen it? Good movie. My daughters saw it and keep wanting me to watch it, but I'm not a superhero movie type of guy, but they tell me it was good. I hear a lot of F-bombs in there. Anyway, so you can click on any of these to look at what their positions were. These are all snapshots of when they filed. So we'll close this ad. And this is the Q3 2024 13F holdings. So click on that, the top one. That's their most recent filing. But what you want to do is compare Q3 2024 to drop down to Q2 2024. And then you do that, and this is the difference between the two quarters. Now, you can do a year if you want to. So we could have compared it to whatever. I don't know how far down they go. Looks like we go back to 2013. So they probably go a little over 10 years. But either way, this is, we'll sort it by change. So here's the new positions. I know it's probably small on the screen. Don't worry. We'll go quick. But Sirius XM looks like new. Yes and no. Liberty Media merged with Sirius XM, and there was a differential share distribution. I tweeted out the numbers. Don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's a new position, but not new, if that makes sense. But the two new positions are Domino's Pizza and Pool Corp, which both of those were on the radar. Now, they only bought 1.2 million shares of Domino's Pizza and 404,000 or we'll call it 1.3 million shares Domino's Pizza and 404,000 shares of Pool Corp. And they also added more Heiko, which I think everybody, right? Heiko does aircraft parts. I think helicopter. They do aircraft parts, but unless I'm thinking of something else, should have verified this before it came on, but they increased that by 1%. So there you go. Pool Corp, Domino's Pizza. We've talked about them recently on the channel. So nothing else new or added. And then we'll hit change again. And they've done a lot. If you pay attention to the news, you know Berkshire's been building a massive cash position. So these two, I don't really give it. The SiriusXM and Liberty Media, those merged. So technically, yes, those positions are gone. But you saw they still have Sirius. Floor and Decor, they sold out of 100% of. And then they did a lot of selling. Now, this is interesting. Ulta Beauty, they sold out of. Or reduced 96% from last quarter. Dude, this is why you got to be careful, because Buffett has lieutenants that also do buying and selling. There's Todd Combs and Ted Wexler, and they're investment portfolio managers. So they will buy and sell things autonomously without his knowledge. Warren shares the story once of he was asked about why he bought a REIT, and he said it was a healthcare REIT. And he said, I've never even heard of this. So clearly that he's not always doing it. So if you were to jump in and buy Ulta Beauty, you may be copying Ted Wexler. So who knows? But anyway, so they reduced 96% of Ulta Beauty, 26% of Charter Communications. Obviously, you all know they've been selling off Apple, 25% less in the quarter. Yeah, they're down to, they do even number of shares, down to 300,000 shares or 300 million shares of Apple. Crazy. Bank of America reduced 23%. Nucor, right? NU? No, that's not Nucor. I don't know that one. Anyway, somebody put it in the chat. What's NU Holdings? Reduced that 19%. And last one, Capital One, they reduced 7%. So you can do that if you want. And you can do that with a bunch of other hedge fund managers. So that's that. That's what the one and only Warren Buffett and or possibly Todd Combs or Ted Wexler bought and sold. And I still can't drink my damn tea. It's too hot. It's burning my hand. Boaz, opportunities. Yeah, I'd like to know what you guys say, what you think are opportunities in. Uh, I know whiskey. No, I don't know if you want me to say your name. You mentioned why am I selling PepsiCo and J&J, and the whole point of the newsletter was any any money that you think you're going to need within the next 2 years should not be in the stock market, because this guy right here, when we decided, okay, you know what, we need a new family car, we need something dependable, we're going to sell. We're not going to sell. We're going to keep what we have, give it to the kids, which is our 2011 GMC Acadia. Money pit of a car, but it's paid off and we put some work into it. We wanted a new car for the family, and we decided that in late April, early May. Right then is when I should have sold. I should have targeted what I wanted to sell and sold it, put it into either SWVXX, money market fund, or into just a high yield savings account, and just don't worry about it. But I thought, hey, it's been a raging bull market. It's probably going to keep going up. Probably should bring J&J and PepsiCo with it. Not the case. Not the case. After this week, PepsiCo is hovering around 2-year lows. And you know what? You live, you learn. So we left the money in. The second opportunity I should have done that is when we bought the car, October 7th. I should have sold. I should have sold right then and not even dealt with it. But I thought, you know what? They've been down a little bit. Let's wait for them to come back up. And now they're, especially PepsiCo, down a whole bunch. But oh, dude, I love it. Buffett's betting America's going to be eating pizza by the pool in 2025. Hey, Casey's General Stores, ticker CASY, or no, yeah, CASY. They are the number, what did we say, 5? We've shared this on the channel before. The number 5 biggest pizza chain in the United States. They call themselves like the pizza and beer headquarters. Ironic as Trump is being seen as the peace president in defense stocks. Yeah, well. All right, Gorilla Nurse. Boy, I can't speak. Take a breath. We got it. All right, bought PepsiCo, AbbVie, General. Oh, look at you. Wow, up there in Wisconsin, you're not worried at all. So I love it. Just in the face of uncertainty, buying PepsiCo, AbbVie, General Mills, and Pfizer. Yeah, not anywhere, but they could be down. I don't know. What do you guys think? Dead money for a couple years? Or do you think this is going to be just an overreaction by the market? And Sam, thank you so much. I was responding to emails, trying to get through a bunch before I went to shower, because I got home, did yard work all day today. But yeah, I saw Sam's email pop up, and thankfully it was short enough, because she said, are you okay? I'm like, well, of course I'm okay. So I clicked on it and it said, you're live. Like, I'm live. And then it hit me. I was like, oh no, I know exactly what happened. So that's, you know what? Hey, nobody's perfect. Lesson learned. Now I know if I ever wake up in one time zone and I know I'm going to be going live in another time zone at the end of the day, definitely need to factor that in. But I will say in my defense, I set it up about 15 minutes before checkout, and we had a conjoined room with my brother-in-law and his wife, and they were all loading up luggage, and I'm setting it up. They're like, my wife's like, we gotta go. Like, give me 5 more minutes. She's like, no, it's checkout. She's like, come on, wrap it up. I'm like, I'm setting up the live stream. Hold on. So yeah, it was a little bit chaotic. So, believe you me, it wasn't like I was sitting there with a tea, just taking my sweet time. I was kind of, I don't know. Hey, you get things in your head, and I just thought, no, I got to have this set up before I leave. Anyway, so Berkshire's transitioning from warrants holdings and preparing for another direction after Buffett. Hints why they have so much cash. You could be right. That is actually a very good point, TJ, that, yeah, if and when, I guess I shouldn't say when, or if Warren steps down. It's kind of like that saying when people say, if I were to die, you got to correct them and correct yourself, because I do that too. If I died one day, it's like, no, when? It's when. We're going on, billions of years of data here that all living things will die. Not getting into any, theosophical debates here, but at least the flesh and blood here, when. So when Warren Buffett steps down and or expires, somebody new is going to take over, and they're going to have to decide what to do. So maybe he's already being preemptive on that. But yeah, I don't know. He's getting up there. What, 94 just turned? All right. And then don't worry, Alan, and all you guys, I haven't thought about yours. So New Holdings is a holding company, provision of digital banking services. Yeah. Very different from Nucor Steel, which I now realize is NUE, I believe. All right, Gorilla Nurse, you bought IIPR. So we'll get to the news, and then we will do, we got WIX, LUNR, and PLD, which is interesting because I see PLD buildings from the inside. Yeah, I'll share a few thoughts on my firsthand experience with PLD in a moment. This one, yeah. So it's funny you bring up Geo Group, because they used to pay a dividend. They used to be a REIT. For-profit prisons. That is like, if you guys listen to Dividend Talk podcast, European dividend growth investor tries to do no sin stocks. So he won't invest in Vici. That's, I don't do tobacco, but I won't do for-profit prisons. That's one of my beliefs. I don't think prisons should be for profit, because then there's an incentive to lobby to keep steady flow of prisoners coming in, so they're getting government money. And I think there's too many people in cages. That's my way of putting it. I don't believe anyone should be locked in a cage for a nonviolent crime, especially one where someone is just trying to alter their consciousness, right? Because when you use drugs, that's altering your state of consciousness. And just my philosophical personal belief is that you own your consciousness. And if you can safely alter it, not harm anybody else, then that's okay. Because once you harm somebody else's person or property, I know we're going to get off track from the dividends here, but anyway, yeah, Geo Group, not me. I think, nah, no go. Adam, dude, again, thank you for stopping on by again, man. 4 years of strength with the company. Does that benefit from him? We'll see. Mondelez, yeah, that's another one. Lam Research, you got LRCX, AMAT, and ASML, and MPWR, another chip company. I'm not that familiar with most of those. ASML is an interesting one, though. Mr. J. Ortiz, Texas Roadhouse looking good. I've never eaten. Yeah, no, Outback is the one I've eaten at. Did you just hear that? Did I just say yeah, no? Wonderful. Hey, pat yourself on the back for that one, buddy. All right. Oh, man. No, math isn't hard for Navy enlisted. Math is just hard for this guy. I've struggled mightily with math my whole life. I don't know why. It's just not my take a look at ADC. Smaller, better version of O. So are you trying to say that ADC is it's kind of like if they were brothers and Realty Income was the bigger, older, more mature brother, maybe wearing a vest or a sweater with the sewn on elbow patches, smoking a pipe. ADC might be the younger, sexier version of that brother with the faster car. A couple girls on each arm. That's kind of how it looks like right now. But yeah, we're big fans of ADC around here. I love the CEO, Joey Agree. That's a fun CEO. If you haven't listened to Joey Agree speak, I think you get a lot out of it if you listen to them. And they just put out a white paper on, I think I didn't share it on YouTube, but they put out a white paper on warehouse clubs, which they do have exposure to. Jim's thinking about just doing his DC in Amazon, Walmart, and what's a fund? I missed the fund. I don't get the joke if it is one, man. All right, I'm almost caught up with you guys. You've owned Waste Management since 2011. Beautiful, beautiful. Strong one. What a beast it is. Texas Roadhouse over Outback. All right, Alan wants ECL. I will do my best to get through these real quick. And all right. Yeah, I'm glad you think Joey Agree is a fantastic founder. Took over from his dad, and they have been public, they've been public as long as Realty Income. I believe they started in, I think, 71 or 74. Realty Income was 1969 that they started, but I believe they both went public in 1994 or thereabouts. And I got 100. I have 101 shares of Agree Realty, and I'd like to add more, but it's just been way up there. I'd like to see it come down a little bit. And we'll do the news, and then we'll look at your guys' stocks that you wanted to look at. But a fund is like when you invest in index in Denmark. Okay, well, close. Couldn't they just call it an index fund or a fund? All right, here we go. Dude, now he's just being funny. Dude, no question mark. I think that should be an exclamation point. Get rid of that question mark. Come on. And Adam, I don't follow. What's that? BN. I don't remember BN. That's not. No. All right, let's do this because I'll just keep chit chatting away with all you guys. So we will start with some news, and these are just the headlines from good old Simply Safe Dividends. Which, by the way, remember you can try it for free. You just give them your email address. You don't even need a credit card. You want to try it for 2 weeks. Brian Bollinger, I've spoken with him, I don't call him the CEO, founder of Simply Safe. But this is some news from Simply Safe. Got a lot. Let's blow right through it. But they downgraded CVS from 80 to 70 because, hey, lots going on with the pharmaceutical space, and some say it could be broken. And there's a lot of disruption there that Amazon and CVS is in Target. Kind of an interesting thing. So anyway, 5% yield, and they downgraded them. Moving along and making that not so big. Baxter, looks like they sold their kidney care segment. So they reduced the dividend, and I don't know if it kept them in. I don't think it kept whole. So it sounds like they sold off, and yeah, you would, if it was sold private, you wouldn't get any of the kidney segment. So it is effectively a dividend reduction for Baxter if anyone's invested. Got another one. Vodafone cut the dividend 50% after they sold off some non-core assets. And I was just reading this. I didn't read through these, so I apologize. But I guess nobody got shares. So anyway, look at that. Another dividend cut from Vodafone. Tweeted this one out. Tyson bumped that dividend 2%. So that's their 13th straight year. Tyson looks like they've been beaten down a bit. Hey, they got a new CFO, right? They got rid of the grandson, the drunk. Stag, they refreshed their outlook on. Stag, very slow dividend growth. I don't think they have any dividend growth. It's frozen dividend, I believe. Yeah, looks like that dividend. Yeah, see? Yeah, see, that dividend's frozen, yeah? Or they did, I'm sorry. They rose it 0.7%. Ugh, that's a token dividend raise. All right, Suncor raised their dividend 4.6%. Moving through these quicker. I put out a post on Blossom, which follow me on Blossom if you haven't. I have a link down below. You can see my portfolio and get alerts when I buy and sell things, but they downgraded. Well, there's too much lithium. EV demand has been drying up a little bit, so they downgraded them from 70 to 60. Vulcan, ticker VMC, they upgraded from 41 to 60. Yeah, I love it, dude. Come on. This is AI. How is AI going to ever disrupt selling crushed stone, sand, and gravel used in construction? Pretty sure this is going to be resilient for some time. Ticker HNI. which I don't know what HNI means, but raised them 5 points from 55 to 60, borderline safe. And we're almost done here. Ottertail, which I think is a great name for a company. The electric utility up there in northern Minnesota. They upgraded them from 66 to 80, the high end of the safe bucket. 2 more. TC Energy, they refreshed an outlook on. Yeah, zoom in on any of these if you want to look a little more. Pause the video. There we go. Nike raised that dividend 8.1%. They'll get too much news here. Yeah, so that yield is up. They're down to 76, and I'll probably add a few more shares this week. And then Thomson Reuters, they upgraded their dividend safety score from 70 to 80. And a couple quick look-sees here now. Bear with us for Alan as we look up WIX for you. And I will go through really quick on all of these. So for all you watching, if you wanted to get any more info on them, you're going to have to pause it. But yeah, they don't pay a dividend. And I think this is Wix.com, right? You can do a free website on there. Yeah, you sure can. I don't know. Free cash flow per share growing. That's what I love to see. Very stout. I wonder if they're over earning. We'd have to know why, or you would have to know why. Yeah, sales growth it's been compressing a little bit, but just solid. They do dilute shareholders a little bit. It's tapered off, but yeah, sales are stout. Pretty low return on invested capital there. But for me, I would need to know the future of this business like I know a Harrow Incorporated, because I have some things that aren't being factored in, like their Melt pharmaceutical, which could be coming on. But yeah, it looks okay. Just looks okay to me. You also wanted to know, is that Ecolabs? Yeah, Ecolab. Looks very safe. Won't spend too much time on Ecolab. But dividend growth, 10% 20-year CAGR. So they have been growing it 32 years uninterrupted. Looks like they're going to be raising that dividend again soon, or did they? December. They should be getting ready to raise it next month. They look reasonably valued according to SimpliSafe. There's some other valuation metrics. It just looks like it's okay. Just from those. Low free cash flow payout ratio, they can easily pay that. Free cash flow per share still at an all-time high, but it might come down in the next 12 months. So, yeah, it looks all right. I mean, nothing slowly buying back shares. Cyclical business. We don't want to. We'd like to see that more up and to the right, kind of like Wix was. But yeah, they're a big company, right? Big company. Very good return on invested capital, ROE. Yeah, their margins are really solid. Net debt, they've been paying down their debt. And interest coverage ratio could be a little bit higher, but I think over 5 is solid. But they are, how big? Where's my market cap? Yeah, 70 billion. So that's those two. A couple more coming at you. We got LUNR. This is going to be the fun one. Let's see. Another one doesn't pay a dividend. That's okay. We'll take a peek. Intuitive Machines. When were they founded? So I'm seeing satellite repositioning, orbital debris removal. I used to be in a band called Orbital Debris Removal. We were a tribute to Blondie. That was in my high school days. That is not true. But negative free cash flow per share. Ugh, that's no bueno. Big sales growth the last 12 months. Wow. I wonder what that was from. Huge drop in shares outstanding. I don't know what that was all about. I've never looked at this company. Looks like, I don't know, no debt. Yeah, I don't know. Negative interest coverage ratio. So this is funny because they currently have negative $966 of operating income to cover every $1 of interest expense. So I don't know. It looks to me like they must be, if they have any debt, that they add diluted shareholders to probably fund some of that. I don't know, man. It's a stretch for me. It would be a speculative play. Absolutely. I don't know. And then one more, we got PLD. So Prologis, very solid REIT, industrial REITs. I've worked at a lot of Prologis buildings, and Okay, good. I was seeing my phone here. I thought it was stuck. Could be undervalued. I almost picked some up under $100 a share. I'd love to see if it got back there, but $105 billion mega cap. And when were they founded? Doesn't tell me, does it? Nope. But let's look at their numbers and then I'll come back and tell you a little bit about them. So it looks like they cut. A lot of REITs cut during the GFC, so that's not too shocking, but they're still not up to where it was pre-GFC or during the GFC. So very interesting. Valuation could be undervalued according to Simply Safe. But yeah, they've been falling too. So this would be one I would look for. Honestly, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. You know, when the whole sector falls, I think when a whole sector falls, you look for the big heavyweights, the giants, the companies that are very good, like Prologis. Their AFFO, that's something to watch. It looks like it's popped up over 75%. So I'd keep an eye on that. It's kind of like the free cash flow per share, the AFFO or earnings. It's a metric you use for REITs to look at that. Yeah, just solid business. I know I'm not going to see anything too alarming here. Maybe the AFFO payout ratio over 80%, something to think about. Sales growth has dropped to 1% the last 12 months. So it could be indicative of, right? The economy slowing down. That might be a little bellwether. Yeah, shares outstanding. You guys know this. If there, or some of you don't, if you're watching, if the shares outstanding are increasing, you just want to see sales increasing and AFFO per share, which is right there. And it's dropping off the last 12 months. So that is a little bit of a red flag there. But yeah, for a REIT, margins are good. Net debt is low. They can pay the so there's nothing to worry about, I don't think, with them. So my goodness, there's that. Holy cow, you guys are blowing up the chat here. So we'll spin through these, but yeah, as far as Prologis goes, my little take on it is that I work at a lot of industrial buildings. They have a very big presence around the Chicagoland area, and they are top notch with rehabbing their buildings, doing what needs to be done to keep those spaces accommodative for their tenants. When a tenant moves out and there's repairs that need to be done, they're not a Band-Aid company that will just say, hey, what's the least amount, cheapest repairs you can do to get this space ready for the new tenants? Nah, they just top notch. They will take care of the business, and I know they can charge a little bit more, but you get what you pay for. I won't name names because some of you wouldn't even know, but there are some real estate companies, some industrial management companies that I've seen that just do that. Everything's crap. They just hire the cheapest labor. They will do it's not a good look, but they slap, bubble gum and duct tape on it to hold things together. And then the next tenant moves in and it's like Tommy Boy when he opens the door and it falls off. And then they're like, what did you do? You got to buy a new piece of equipment. You broke it. All right, we're caught up. There we go. There we are. I got you guys. Oh, Brookfield. Yeah, Adam, I tried once looking at Brookfield and it was just too big of a spider web for me to understand, because if it is Brookfield I'm thinking about, I think they're involved in like construction, financing, I don't know. I think they even had lending, like mortgage lending or some type of, there was so many things they did and I just could it went in the too hard pile. So yield porn. We haven't done yield porn in a while. Yeah, PFE, I'm not too hot on because their sales are here. We'll look at PFE in a minute because I don't want to say anything without looking at it, but let me see. I'll keep PFE in mind, Mr. J. Telecom sector, I think cell towers are all right. I think I listened to a business breakdowns a couple weeks ago, right around Halloween, where they talked about, what's the bit? Not Crown Castle. Crown Castle, CCL is one of them, but it was the big one that's just completely escaping my mind. AMT, right? American Tower. So it was American Tower. 171%, and it's still early. It could be, man. It really could be, but a company like that, you're betting on the future, which could be bright, but looking at the past, it hasn't been the greatest. But same thing with Hero Incorporated, man. I'm a big fan of their CEO. So far, everything they said that's going to happen has exceeded, and there's more things coming down the pike in FDA trials for. They have it's not even ophthalmic, but it's a company that they got in on called Melt, and it's a sedative. You just put it in your mouth, and it's a sedative for when people need to have surgery done and things like that. So that's that could be big. It could be big. It's in trials, but dude, that's the right attitude. Fun bet. I think. Well, I guess everything's a bet, right? PepsiCo, you could bet on PepsiCo. I suppose we don't know the future. We don't know what's going to happen, but oh, look at this. There he is. What's up? What's up, man? I'll give you a salute because you're a civilian. I'm a civilian too, but I had fun. I had fun talking to Travis. So he was a chief, and I love that, man, because chiefs are very well respected because they've done their time. They've been in a long time. So we liked chiefs in the Navy. That's like upper enlisted, I guess, management. They're toward the top of the chain. Every division has a chief, sometimes two. I didn't get to ask him if he was ever an LCPO, which is leading chief petty officer. Searching for water on the moon for the next mission. Is that big though? But if they find it, what do they do with it? So what? I don't know. I'd have to understand their business model. Yeah, Michael Anthony, shout out, man. You're drinking that bottle of apple juice instead of Jack Daniels for Van Halen. That's going to show my age. A lot of you might not know Michael Anthony. He was the bass player from Van Halen, and during his bass solos, he would drink like a half or a whole bottle of Jack Daniels. Turns out, everybody, you can't believe everything you see because it ended up that it was apple juice. So everybody thinks he's hardcore chugging a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, and it turns out, nope, he was just drinking some apple juice. Which is funny because, yeah, duh. If anybody, even if he's, 6'2", 260 pounds, that's going to hit somebody really hard, drinking a whole handle of Jack Daniels. But hey, you know what? I don't think many people would be able to see straight and walk upright, but I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, they are beat down, and yeah, it's RFK, man. It's the RFK effect. I shared in the newsletter, Jim Cramer doesn't seem to think it's going to be that big of a deal, which means it probably spells doom for them. You got Conagra, Hormel, Kraft Heinz, and Campbell's, and many more in the food sector will make new lows. Yeah, I think so. Dude, yeah, Prologis over Stag by a long shot. They are just big. What's up? I don't think we've talked before. Hello, Explore, Dream, Discover. My buy list, I started a position, an exploratory position in U, which is Clear Secure. I know what I like about them. I did the video. Ryan saw it. He really got into them, started buying them, and then we were talking about it. But I like that they're expanding or trying to expand out of the airports, sports stadiums, anywhere that needs identity verification, doctors' offices, trying to get in with Home Depot, Uber now even. So they're really trying to grow, and I like that. So I'm gonna probably buy some more Clear Secure. I did not feel comfortable buying above 30 and mid 30s where Ryan was buying. So they had their earnings come out. Market didn't like it. They've dropped quite a bit. So I've been buying them, and then also probably gonna just add a few more shares of Nike. But we'll see. We will see what happens because we never know. We never know what opportunities are going to be. Hey, Steve, any thoughts on AI stocks like Palantir? Palantir, I don't understand. You guys might remember I did an interview with Haley Eich. I always say Ike, but she said Eich, I think. And yeah, she was big on Palantir. You got to buy Palantir, buy it. And I looked at the company. I just was like, I kind of understand it, but not really. And I think there's a lot of exuberance over it right now. It's at a PE of I think 300, 299 is the PE. So that means you're currently buying here. You're paying $300 for every $1 of Palantir's earnings, which I think is just, I think it's bonkers. But hey, you know what? Could be wrong. It could just keep going and be the next Nvidia, which I also think is actually, if you look at Nvidia now, they are undervalued for where they're trading at now compared to where they were a few years ago. So that's kind of a fun thought. Yeah, Palantir, I don't know. It's what, cybersecurity for government, which is necessary. But when a company is priced to perfection, one slip up, one negative thing, and that thing is going to crash and crash hard. At least that's my opinion. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at Pfizer, but I get it caught up to you guys. Is PLD exposed to commercial real estate? I think you mean like office spaces, because they're mostly industrial from all that I know. And yeah, I don't, from what I've never seen them having any what was that site we used to go to with Jeremy? Oh my gosh, it was REIT. I can't remember it. Does anyone remember? It had a black screen, blue writing. In that showed you if there was any office exposure. Where's Jeremy? Dividend stockpile when you need him. All right. If anyone can remember that, then we'll look up that. But long DJT. Oh hell no. DJT. That's crazy. I think they're making. All right, I'm not gonna throw. I can find this quick without bringing you along, but they are currently a $6 billion market cap stock, and their current free cash flow per share is negative 43 cents. They're earning negative $3.90, and their revenue looks to be last 12 months about, let's see, where is it? Total sales 3.37 in the million. So what is that? 300 million? I think if I read that right. It's awful. It's insane. I would never pay that for that. And I don't know how it would ever grow into those valuations. But I know what it was. It was like it was like almost like a betting marker for, when something good would happen with Trump, it would go up. Bad, it would go down. And yeah. Falling knife. What is it at now? Oh, I was just on it. $28. I think that's pretty overvalued. It should probably be somewhere 6, 7, $8. I don't know. ABEV. I'd never. Let's see. What is ABEV? Oh, Ambev. That's an interesting one because, yeah, it's foreign. I had looked at Diageo. They honestly, I don't think young people drink like they used to. So melting ice cube, I don't know, but I'm skeptical of alcohol related stocks. Guys like Darth, I don't know. Honestly, dude, I don't even remember what the White Claw hubbub was about. I was gonna say when you drink White Claws, I'm like, wait, no, he doesn't drink White Claws. That was the joke. Yeah, the young people, they don't really drink like I guess all of us, and that's probably a good thing. I enjoy some nice bourbon. This candle over here is a pumpkin bourbon candle I got at a cut rate store in Chicago I worked at for $2.99. I don't know if it smells good, but my daughters the other night were like, "What's that smell? It smells like burning pumpkins," and somebody put it out with alcohol. No, I don't know what it smells like, but anyway, yeah, I'd be very skeptical, and if I were to pick a beverage company, I would go. I'd probably just do Diageo, one of the bigger brands, higher end exposure, I think. But hey, well, Constellation, they have Modelo. I think Modelo is the number one selling beer here. Yeah, AMT. Thank you. That's what we were talking about. what I think about Ryan Williams, with his U. Yeah, so I think I talked on that. I turned him on to it. He liked it, bought it. We talked for a while about it, and I started an exploratory. So I say that because uh, I wanted to look deeper into it, but honestly, if I don't own something, meaning if I don't buy a share or two or five, I just won't do it. I won't do it. So once I own it, now I have that motivation like, man, I got skin in the game because they say, right? You pay attention to what you pay for. So I paid for it and now I'm paying a lot closer attention to it and I will be looking deeper into it. But for right now, it's a placeholder. I did it checked all the prerequisite boxes, like things I'll look for really quickly. But now I'm going to be looking for reasons to say no, those specific reasons to say, no, I don't like this. And honestly, I'm not really finding them. So, other than the valuation was one. It was prohibitively high for me, over $30 a share. Bernard, yeah, just we'll look a minute. I think RIO, that's not Rio Tinto. Isn't that that's the Canadian dividend REIT, right? Um, I know Mike, the dividend guy. That's one I'm not very familiar with, but oh no, Rio Tinto. Never mind. Yeah, here, I'll show you these real quick. Rio and WEYS. Why, Bernard? Because I like you, man. All right. And then we got what am I doing? Here we go. I'll stay a few minutes later because of my goof up with time zones and all. But here's Rio Tinto, dividend safety score 40 unsafe. Yeah, they got a nice yield. Don't chase yield, man. I have a feeling. I hope you're not chasing yield on this. But let's see why. I've never really looked deep into this. The big cut there coming out of the pandemic. But where are they from? They pay semi-annually. I don't know if that affects it for you. They pay twice a year, every April and September. Yeah, they think it appears speculative. They're just saying that because of the dividend cuts, but there has to be a reason why. Toward their 52-week low. Yeah, that's why. So this is a whole big bucket of yuck. It's the Mr. Yuck stamp of approval when you have a free cash flow payout ratio of 99% and it's projected to be 102%. That is, if they don't get that under control and quick, that dividend's going to get cut and look out. So yeah, the dividend gets paid out of free cash flow. So currently they're barely able to take all their free cash flow and pay the dividend. So that is frightening. That gives me, I really don't need to see much more, but sorry about that. If you got earbuds in, I blew them out. Yeah, sales are starting to compress. I would not. Yeah, nice return on invested capital and return on equity. They still have good margins, but low debt. Honestly, yeah, that makes me extremely nervous. And then WEYS. So Rio Tinto is not for me. And Waco, consumer discretionary. I don't think I'm familiar with Waco, but they get a dividend safety score of 45. Let's see, what do they do? Footwear for men, women, and children. North American wholesale and retail. Here we go. Oh my God, what is this for this is old Florsheim, Nunbush, Stacy Adams, Boggs, Rafters, and Forsake brands. I've not heard of any of the last ones, but I think Florsheim and Nunbush are for, this might be real popular for those convalescing and drooling on themselves in retirement homes or such, but I don't know. Hey, who do I know? Maybe. Oh, look at this. But they're based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Looks like I'll have to pay a visit to Waco and have a sit down with their CEO. I couldn't do that. Dividend growth slow, but dividend growth streak 1 year. Oh, because they didn't raise it from the pandemic. Okay. Either way, paid a special dividend of $2. Oh, November 18th. That's tomorrow. Too late. If anybody bought Friday, you're gonna get that special dividend. All right, let's see. They could be overvalued. What they got going on here? Very low free cash flow payout ratio, but they go all over. So this means they're cyclical when you see these big jumps and drops. Right here, right away, yeah, free cash flow per share goes negative, then way up, then way down, then way down, then up. And it's probably going to go down. So I guess you got to catch these at the low end of the cycles, something for like Waco, but I don't know. Who's buying Nunbush shoes? Florsheim. Sales, yeah, very cyclical. Nah, not for me. 2020, I understand that one though. That's the give them a pass for 2020. But yeah, nice free cash flow margin. I don't know. Not not for me. Not for me, my friend. But if they're for you, if you're all about those Florsheims, Bernard, I don't know. All right. Hey, Sam, nice to have you, man. We're going into extra time here for just a little bit because if you're asking me about my SCHG position, I sold it. My children still have it. Cody, good to see you. My thoughts on that, Cody, were much like companies that are bad and poorly managed. Bad teams, bad professional sports, well, bad any team, right? I've seen my daughter's old team. Bad teams find new and exciting ways to lose. That's just what the Bears did. So, but we'll see. Businesses turn around. Sports teams can turn around too. Yeah, adding more PG and Pep. Frank, I think you're going to get your opportunity because it looks like there are clearly way more sellers than buyers for those stocks right now. You think alcohol stocks will do fine? They're struggling. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's, dude, and it's all supply and demand, right? Here's me. I like to rip on Bitcoin because I say, what's its utility? And the only thing I can see that gives it value is that people want it. Like Dogecoin, stupidest thing ever. I think it's ridiculous and absurd that anybody would even consider putting any money into that. Yet it's up, what, like 300% this year? I don't understand it, but congratulations if you invested in it and you made money. I think it's cool you made money, but for me, I don't get it. But as I say, it's only going to be valuable until demand for it dries up and nobody wants it anymore. Couldn't you say the same thing about PepsiCo's products? If people just by and large stop eating Doritos, Fritos, and well, they got all the Eatos, right? They got Cheetos, Tostitos, Doritos, Fritos. So if people stop eating all the Eatos and drinking all their drinks, what's going to happen? Same thing, right? It's going to go, dude, go south. Good to hear you're hanging out with family and job interviews, man. You're going to buy Port? Oh, I was going to say, yeah. Portillo's is around Chicago. They're expanding. I looked at their stock, Adam, and I was excited when they went public, but their numbers turned me off. So, unfortunately, not always when you know something, it makes a good investment. I think Peter Lynch's what he meant by that was you should use things you see, things you use as a lead generation. Like I remember in his book, One Up on Wall Street, I think he talked about, was it the pantyhose, right? Legs, I think that his wife said, but now it's like, how I hate saying like, you catch it when you talk a lot. There's things I don't want to say, and you notice when other people do it. But I'm trying to say and like way less. So, Legs pantyhose was owned by I don't remember who, but Peter Lynch back in the 80s saw that his wife used Legs, a lot of women used Legs, and he used that as an idea generation, as a lead generation to go and investigate the company. What he's not saying to do is just to go run out and buy something because you see people using it. I think that's smart, man. Real pay is based on income. I think a lot of companies get into trouble because they don't have variable dividends. Look how crazy free cash flow can be. Yes, there are some businesses that have very stable free cash flow, but because the way the world is and there's so many things that come and go, free cash flow can be spotty. So saying that you pay this stable dividend and we're going to pay it always for whatever, until the end of time and raise it every year. Well, what happens if you hit a few light years? Well, what are you going to do? Take on debt just to pay the dividend? That's bad for business. That's bad for the long-term outlook of the business. So I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, and it's unpopular, but I think a variable dividend would be great for a lot of companies. And I think Smith and Wesson is one that pays a variable dividend. But yeah, and then you say you got out. So here's me. You're like, they pay based on income. I'm like, that's great. And you're like, seems iffy. I got out. But anyway, breaking news. I don't know the future. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not perfect. So God bless you, Jim. I love it. You and Warren B are long on Nunbush and Florsheim. I'm serious, man. Uh, I don't know. I don't even remember the last time I've seen a human being wearing Nunbush. I do think on it, maybe they were Nunbush. Trying to remember, I had the job I had before I went to the Navy was in a dish room at McNeil Hospital, and a funny story popped in my head, but it's not dirty, but it's not. I don't know. If you guys want me to tell it, you can. You might get a laugh. Maybe we'll end on that. But if nobody's eating, it's not that gross. But what was I saying? Oh my God, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I had to get a pair of shoes for the dish room at the hospital. And I remember I just got I wanted the cheapest. They had to be black because we had to wear a white shirt, black pants, black shoes. I wanted the cheapest pair of black shoes I could find because it was like wet and food and nasty. And I feel like they were Nunbush or Florsheims. Could be wrong, but if anybody wants to hear my fun little story, just let me know. I know I got an itch here, and I, I look at myself on screen. I'm like, I look like a crackhead, like the said like Dave Chappelle. I don't remember the name of the crackhead he played with the white around his mouth, and he's always like scratching. That's I'm like, I need some more dividends, man. You got any dividends? All right, you guys got to go. I'm gonna go too, unless somebody tells me quick they want to hear the story. My opinion on 80% VTI and 20% VXUS. I don't know VXUS off the top of my head. I like VTI better than VOO because it has that small and mid cap exposure. And there's sentiment that small and mid caps could do very well under Trump. So, hey, we'll see. But I VOO doesn't have that. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to tell this story and then we'll get on out of here. But so working in the hospital because we were around food, even though it was dirty, it was protocol in the hospital that everybody, oh, it's total international. I think that's solid. I think that's solid to get international exposure. But I will say this, a lot of the companies that are in VTI already have an international exposure. Thinking about, I don't know, a J&J or PepsiCo, you know what I mean? They have a lot of revenue that comes from all around the globe. So it could be a little bit of redundancy, but hey, there's a lot of markets that one I've heard a lot about is FLIN. I think that's an Indian ETF, like India, and India is growing. I've heard Aswath Damodaran talk about there's I guess millions of people in India have never been to a doctor, and that is really starting to ramp up. They're trying to institute some sort of a nationwide hospital system like we have here, which could be a lot of demand. And people are starting to be more affluent in India. The middle class is starting to rise up. So there could be something there for something like India in the healthcare space or Flynn. But how did we get to that? You see how it goes. Anyway, back to the story. At the hospital, it was protocol that everybody had to have a drug test and a urine test and a fecal test, right? I have a friend who got me the job there. So when the application process came to that, I was like, dude, you didn't tell me that we have to, at home and we were supposed to collect the sample. Keep in mind, I was almost 17, just about ready to turn 17. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna do that. That's freaking gross. So he's like, He's like, you don't have to do that. I got you covered. So what we did, my friend Joe has Kishu, right? So we used his dog at the time. We went in his backyard, took a sample from his dog, just like he did, submitted it to the hospital. They hired me. So apparently, my friend's dog, now dear departed, because this was 1995. Yeah, 1995 ish. So yeah, Kishu, God rest your soul. You submitted 2 fecal samples to McNeil Hospital in Berwyn, Illinois, and apparently the colon and everything looked fine with the dog. So rest easy in puppy heaven or wherever you might be. But I bring that up because now they're wanting. I'm 46. I just saw the doctor, and he's like, you're over 45. We need to check you out there, colonoscopy or what? So I'm like, oh no. So now I'm thinking like, well, I have a family and kids. There's no way I can, like I was, and immediately it popped in my head. I was like, I got a cat. I'm like, I wonder. But now, in all seriousness, Ronnie James Dio, I believe he died from colorectal cancer. James Vanderbeek is 47. He's 1 year older than I am. He's been diagnosed. The Dawson's Creek star, he has colorectal cancer. So it is something serious and something I need to think about. And I know a lot of us men, big tough guys, we don't want to. But anyway, so I'm glad some of you got a laugh out of it. And there you go. I don't know if that would work or fly now. But hey, at least in the late 90s it did. And hey, good times, right? Good times. Nobody got hurt. A little bit of fun. So hey, I want to thank all of you for I don't know where this show. Who knew I was going to tell that story? I didn't know, but some of you were still watching it. So God bless all of you for sticking around. Lisa, I got to get in touch with you. If you want, send me an email, russ@dapperdividends.com. And we'll maybe I could come on one of your live streams. We'll set one up when I can make it. So, hey, anyways, thank you all. You guys, I don't. I'm a kid of the '80s. I love Pee Wee. I love the outro. So we're gonna play it until I'm told not to at the end of every live stream. So it's my show, my rules, and I love you guys. I thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you next week. So long, everybody.